Hello, it's Patak. I'm going to do a Marble Madness Game Boy Color tutorial. Why? Because a couple of people might actually want to run this game. It is not the worst version of the game, it just has a few things that make it a bit rough sometimes. So as far as emulation, you can use something like BGB or Gambate. There is one Game Boy emulator, I can't remember its name, that runs too quick. Just, look out there and see what you see. So, the first thing about this version of the game, it has no turbo. So all you're going to be using is the D-pad and your splitter button. And at the start you need to press left to begin the game, unless you want to go to use 45 degrees, which is, well, you can do that. We've not tried it yet, we don't think there's any speed difference anyways. So let's go in here. When you do that, as soon as you press left, you can set a negative split of 3.7. And we've got the music in the background, you've got a lovely European Union marble here. Now, if you've played the NES version before, you'll be on slightly familiar ground, but you will need to sort of forget everything you know. If you haven't played Marble Madness before, you're kind of at an advantage. So the first thing is the physics are slightly odd in a couple of ways. So if I just go down, left, you can see it's very, very responsive. It's almost like having a Formula 1 car with ground effect, just total grip, and it just changes direction almost instantaneously. Another little thing is that it is very slightly boostier to go down, pure down movement rather than diagonal movement. Part of that might be that it's reducing lag, we're not quite sure what that is. But basically you can go slightly faster by pressing down a bit, so if I just show you here, it speeds up a little bit, and you go down, it speeds up a bit. The next thing, if you're familiar with the NES version, you'll know that you can clip corners by going into the pixel between diagonal bits. You can't do that on this version, so you have to give 90-degree corners a bit more respect. And the best thing to do is going to be to exaggerate your movements, go right, left, much more like that. So what I recommend doing on the first level, down, right, down, sweep left, go down again. And just before you get to that first 90-degree bend, you want to be starting to sweep left and right. It'll maintain your momentum fairly well. Go back to down, do this, hit the goal. So practice is nice and easy. Beginner, it gets interesting already because this is one of only two versions of the game where you can actually in theory skip the drawbridge. It's very hard, but it is semi-consistent. So the best path to go is going to be to go straight right here and then go down and cut into here, but you've got to be careful because if you come out too far you'll crack the marble. So right, down, and you see again it's speeding up slightly, but you see here I get stuck. This is a fairly common problem in this game, is that there's some sort of bug with 45-degree angles where you can get stuck on walls, you can get stuck in infinite loops, and it's difficult to know what to do unless you've been in a specific situation for how to get out of it. Don't worry if you have to faff, but just come right, come down, do a bit of down, right, and then before you get to the point where you're falling off, switch to down left, because the momentum with the grip is such that you're going to be able to stay on. So whoop, then go down here, then again come here, and you might notice there when I was coming to go into pure down movement, instead of just pressing down, I actually had to press a little bit of down right first to sort of neutralize the left movement. So down, down left, down, right, down. And then at this point here you want to be roughly lined up so the marble is coming onto this 45-degree angle if you want to try the drawbridge skip. And what you're going to do is rub against the up drawbridge for maybe a beat of very quick 2, so 1, 2, let go, and it will sometimes let you through. It's very awkward. Let's see if I can actually do this. There's another stuck, you see, you have to let go. This game makes you very angry. Like, I've never known a game make me this angry before, it's crazy. There you go. So I let go of the control pad very, very briefly and then went into down right. Another thing is, because you can't cut corners, this sort of thing here, you've got to give it a bit more respect and come across the way. So don't be afraid to use a bit of right and down instead of just down right. Steely is here. He is a pain in the bum. Another thing is there is collision issues with pipes where if you go too far right, it won't recognise it and it will kill you. So what you tend to have to do is just move slightly to the right and then enter from the left. I'll try and show you that. If you get stuck there, don't worry about it, do a bit of right flicking. You can come down here. What you want to do is enter the pipe slightly on the right hand half, but then be flicking left. And hopefully what that will do is flick you out so that you can just press a very small amount of left and then come up like this and round. Otherwise you'll tend to die. You see, as soon as I'm doing like down right or right movement, it's slowing down. So try and press down even though you're going down right. It's sort of an optical illusion. If you die, don't worry. Come over. And then just slightly from the right and then go left, up round. And you'll see that the respawn points in this are very, very bizarre. You will not get used to it, you just sort of have to accept it and laugh. Basically. So down here, and that's what happens if you miss and the pipe will put you out too far right. You'll die there, you'll have to respawn, you can go left, down, and then you'll sometimes get respawned over here, which is just one of those things. These pipe entries even have problems, these bottom ones, so slow down here, show you what I'm doing. So die there as normal, come across. This one, it's common to die there and be warped over. Another problem is that you will get down and be on the right hand side for entering that pipe, and you will literally just be blocked. See if I can replicate that. You'll also see there the marble looks like it's disappeared, but it hasn't. It's just like a glitch with the visuals. Okay, I got through that time. And again, but there you can often basically be holding down right and get completely stuck, and you'll have to kind of come back out, come back around. The next difference with the normal Marble Madness is you've got complete control on the ice, although you lose a bit of friction. So what I recommend is just come very slightly down when you come up the pipe to avoid getting trapped in there, and just do a couple of little bits of left, come like that, and then make sure to turn at the corner there because you will miss otherwise. You can't just skip that. So there we go, down, left, left. There we go. So beginner isn't too bad. You can save a couple of seconds on the drawbridge skip. Intermediate, there's no maze skip, but we're going to get into the problems with walls here, where if you do it wrong, there's going to be times when you're trying to just go down, and the game will, for whatever reason, lock you into the wall until you come out again. Or you'll end up banging back and forth against it, and it can be difficult to get out of. You lose about 5-6 seconds here maybe. See if we can show you that. And because you've got such grip, you don't have to do any sort of preemptive movement. You literally just move where you want to go and learn the reaction time. So this one here, it's common to end up banging back and forth, up and down, or left and right. If you do that, just press perpendicular and try and get through. There, as long as you're exiting the ramp, you can basically come off it normally and just carry on. So down and around, up, don't cut any corners, and then just come off and watch the marble bulge, wait for it to get dizzy, and then come like this. Make sure to come around the corner properly. You see I'm getting a little bit stuck there, and here as well. Round the corner. Then you can go straight down there as long as the acid isn't directly in your way. The hitboxes are a bit weird, so you can do that. You've also got enough speed with the grip that you can just basically swerve like that. And then one of your good patterns is going to be either to go straight down here, or to come across here and then either get between two puddles or go in left into that nook. Try and show you that. Getting stuck there. Wait for the shock, come over. Get acided. The initial learning curve on this game is fairly high, like all of them, but once you get into it, you can be fairly aggressive and it's fairly fun. So here we can come across here. Again, be careful with this pipe, it's easy to go too far right and die, although the game doesn't want to show me that right now. Respawns like that are tremendously annoying. That's the corner thing I was mentioning earlier. You'll see how much the game speeds up and slows down. Again, that takes some getting used to, particularly at the start of Ultimate. That's a problem because you tend to overreact on the bridge after the warp. So yeah, you can come across like this, then come across. You can even dodge between these two. Die like that. Now the upright thing, this is what we're talking about, is if you press up left just coming out the pipe. Have I got a save state for that? No, I'll show you it again, make a save state. If you just press up left coming out the pipe, the game will soft lock you into the wall and you can get out, but it takes a lot of time. So the better way is just start very slowly tapping left when you're coming out of that pipe, and eventually you'll be able to clip through the two parts of the ramp. So let's make a save state. So if I just up left, I'm banging into that wall for no reason at all, and then I'm suddenly trying to get out of it and I'm going to be in trouble here. I'm going to fall down, crack my marble. So what you want to do is just not do that, just literally tap left a bit and then just come down and be safe. And then when you're coming down this part of the ramp and coming to here, when you're transitioning to this bit, under no circumstances hold left and think you're compensating. You always have to hold down left, and even then the grip of the game will still put you like this and put you out. So like that. And then here you can take a bit of time here if you need to. The carpet is a bit of a pain because the carpet moves a bit faster than you and it can throw you off. But generally you're going to be able to make it through the cycle. Again, be careful with the corner there. Give it some respect. But you can turn off, and again you'll get problems with the wall here and bits down here. You'll get bits of slowness. But if the wave takes you, then just slightly preempt getting off and press left and you'll be alright. Try and show you that. That's a bit of a dirty respawn. Sometimes that one will be okay, but if this happens, just try not to worry about it too much. There you go, you press left and it'll still do it. Sometimes it'll respawn you on the lower path, which isn't so bad. It's just a little bit of time loss. See if we can show you that. There you go. And you just go down, curse at the walls, because walls are jerks in this game, and through, and that's intermediate. Now Ariel gets interesting because Shardcore discovered a piece of tech where you can skip the catapult entirely. But also at the start here, you don't want to be holding the direction button until you have come past here, because otherwise you will just immediately plop into there and you'll have trouble. So wait and just very briefly hold it, and then you just immediately start your descent. Again, give the corners respect. Don't worry about the hoovers though, they're not really a problem. Now if you die here, you can respawn over there, and then you get to the pistons, and the pistons are horrible in this game. Not to mention there seems to be a couple of places like this where the ramps just don't respect you at all. But if you see these patterns, it's often going to push you forward and down, and you can get this, and then you've got a brief moment there where you've got a pause on the right hand side you can go through like this. Sometimes you'll even get that happen, which is just crazy. The other catapult skip is going to be to do it this way. What I like to do is line up in the middle, do a bit of left, left, come over here. If that happens, just come back and try again. That one can be annoying, it can be very on-off. It's showing me here. You basically can clip through here or get respawned here. Again, you can get caught between these two bits of pillar. Come down here. In theory, you can then do this, which seems to be semi-reliable. I also found a way that's not reliable yet that skips this piston as well. But then you can come on here. And once you're on that bit, the ramp there isn't even, it's going to throw you from left to right, so you need to hit the ramp from the left hand side. There we go. So you can do that. That one basically will kill you almost every time. But then from here, if I just show you with this, if you try and go from the centre, it just pulls you off. No dice. So you would line it up from about here, come over. The hammer patterns are very nasty in this game because sometimes you'll just get caught for ages, but you can just do that with the hairpin. You can just completely disrespect these hairpins, it's wonderful. So if I just show you here, it's common to get knocked in, and you have to wait until your hammer is completely out the way before you start to try and change direction. Otherwise you'll get trapped and you'll end up going backwards, you'll get killed, it's not pleasant. Long way is fairly reliable in this one because the pistons are going to give you so much bother. So if you just want to go this way, and well, okay, that's not meant to happen, but thanks tutorial, do this, and then if you're going to do this, you've got full grip, but you need to sort of be in the middle of this pathway. If you're on the outer edges, it can be harder to do the timing for changing all the movement on the D-pad, but just flick up, flick left, flick down, flick right. If you're on the wrong part of this one, if you're too high, just do a little bit of waggling and get down, and the same the other way around, come round. And then these hammers, you just literally have to keep holding the direction until you're completely through them. Even if you die once there, it isn't a problem, because otherwise you'll get buffeted back and forth and you'll lose 7 or 8 seconds. Through here, down to here. Silly is difficult, but there is a hack with it. So, as always, come up. Try not to smash yourself, take a pause if you need to. And then on this bit, you need to try and be holding upright. It's very, very easy to miss this ramp unless you're doing it in one motion. So if you're not confident about that, just use the diagonal here, use this edge and come up that way. And don't try and kill any of these guys because the collision is appalling. You can run over them about 16 times and you won't get credit for it. So take a stop, come up here. And if you're on here like this, it's at the moment it's just happening for me, but it's also very easy to try it 500 times and not manage. I'll get caught, I'll get knocked off, you know, stuff like that. And then the important bit for the next part is all the respawns are absolutely dire. So if you get respawned here and then you try and come around, you're just going to have a world of hurt. But if you get halfway or more across these paths, it will respawn you on the next bit. What you can do is before you go into the pipe, hold up right. And then you'll automatically skip to the next part, which is a real godsend. Gee, that's a good respawn, thank you game. So, upright, and come to here. Then just hold right. And then this one is very difficult. You sort of have to do a bit of up, a bit of left, a bit of up left or down left. You can do that, but if you come off the edge there, you're going to be put back here. Broadly speaking, the best way is to get through like that, and then come to here. Again, be careful with the corners. And then we've got a different type of silly skip here, where we want to be in the last area here, not quite there. You go there, it's going to reset you. Come here, fall through there, you'll skip the entire section. Now this is a nightmare, this bit. It's so easy to get stuck here, just bouncing back and forth, not making any progress. What I've found works best is before you even enter the area, come from slightly more left here and add a bit of down as you're going up, so right down, which seems completely pointless, but when you do it, it really works. And then again, just use individual left-right movements, come up, come up. You can get caught here as well, it's a real pain, because the movements you think would work simply won't, and you'll get stuck badly. Or this choke point here. So I'll go through that again. Up we go. Go the safe way, why not? Holding up right, respawn, right, a little bit of up, and it's like a little bit of up, a bit of up left, but it's difficult to control. There you go, that works. Come up here, come up here. Come along, and then just right down, take your time, float along. This one, you'll even get caught exiting the ramp sometimes. He said not getting to the ramp. Like that one, you'll sometimes just get caught bouncing on here, And then this one, the only thing is if you've played the NES version, your natural intuition will be to turn early on these corners for the momentum. Don't do that, turn late. So let's say you're coming along here, turn. Even there, it's doing the whole thing where it's disregarding some of the movement. So you're pressing up right, but it's trying to send you this way. And it's not so easy to control. And then again, just in there, the goalposts aren't a problem. Ultimate is a pain because, as far as we know, it's impossible to complete this game unless you use the Shark or Death Warp. So what you're going to need to do is bear in mind it's going to run much slower. Once you get to about here, start going down. And then as soon as you see yourself hitting this, turn into down right. Oh yeah, one little fun thing. You can go through the back of there. That's just a silly little thing. No save state, so I'll go back and show you. You would think I would be better at doing tutorials by now. I'm not. That's the whole thing I'm talking about with the whole crazy movement. I mean, sure, the marble's having a party, but he's not invited you to it. Okay, so once you're there, come down. Once you're on, down right. Then when you're immediately out of the pipe, the game will be slightly slower. So your intuition will be to hold down left for a very brief moment and then go like that. It won't work, you'll scoot off this bit here. So you've got to take a little bit longer and bear in mind about the whole lag thing. And then it's not down right there, it's more like right to keep momentum. Don't ask me how that works, but right is better than down right. And then when you come off here, the disco floor is going to bring you forward onto the path of this acid. These acids have got massive hitboxes, they are an absolute pain. So this is more like the classic NES Marble Madness, where you have to sort of take a wide turn around them. Don't worry if you die once. If this righty acid is over the right side, you can click through there, but again you've got to miss the corner and it's awkward. You'll also see it's tremendously easy to get soft locked into a sort of infinite death spawn, which is no fun. Down left, right, down left. You can use a little bit of up there to correct, but don't be surprised if you go dying off this side and it's not really any help. Here you want to try and hug into the corner. Here's another part where you'll get the whole problem. That's a nice respawn, that's really generous. But if I just try and not get eaten, but show you. This bit, you can easily get stuck in this sort of loop as well, and you end up having to press up and right and up and left, and it takes ages. This is absolutely mental. That's ruined runs for me before, that is. So you almost want to use the very top corner. Come to the edge, down, come to the edge, down right. Down left, right, down left. You almost want to go along and on the left side of the ice, like to this point, because you've got more margin to go around like this. And if you die once on him, it's okay, just try and curve around. And then like that, you'll get a better path out. Come around, don't worry about the munchers. And then, because you've got control of the ice, you've got to be careful not to whack into the posts. And Steely is also a problem, because what you're going to try and do here... Apparently Steely can go on the ice, he's got his ice climbing boots. Let's see if we can get rid of him. I'll just show you, these platforms move at like the speed of a snail. It's literally like 4 seconds per platform. So we think it's impossible to complete the game by doing it this way. And what you're going to do is death warp off the right hand corner up here so that you don't smash on the floor. And then what will happen, you'll see here that you've got a small area where you can basically just go straight up, which I didn't do there. You can basically just go straight up onto that platform, and then you can complete the game from there. Again, there it's giving me some sort of problem with the proper diagonal movement. You'll get good respawns, you'll get bad respawns. It's a good drinking game. Drink every time you get a weird respawn in this game. You won't last long. Die off there, up straight away, onto the slow stuff, wait for the next one to spawn after the ice, come across. And again, if you're used to the NES version, you will want to try and play fancy and correct at this corner. You don't have to, you literally just have to turn the way you want to go. Don't turn too early like that. We'll get put back here for the sake of it. There's the skip we're talking about. Come across, come across. And I seem to be doing that repeatedly too early. Really, a lot of this game is just tremendous patience. I would almost say it takes as much as the Master System version. Let's go back to the beginning and show everything again. So we're going to try and focus on down movement, down, right, down, right, down. Sweep left. You want to make sure that you're on the right hand side of this crook here. If you're not, then just sweep right nice and early. Sweep, sweep. You might get cascades of where your sweeping motion will take you out one way or the other. Don't worry if you do. It's quite normal. This bit, sweep down. Use down to come there. Cut in early. Come off early. Try and do your catapult skip. What often happens if you don't get it or you try and go here, the marble muncher will get you from there, so stick up at the top if you need to. Careful with Steely, careful with this side of the pipe like that. That was the death you want to avoid. Up and round. That's a very weird respawn. Through, control the ice. Bit of left, round there. Try and be in the centre of these paths, otherwise you'll get wall bunks and all sorts of problems. If you get problems, switch to 45 degrees, so if you're having problems going down, go left suddenly. Come off nice and aggressive, switch if you need to, switch if you need to. Left, left, left. Straight down. If you need to hang out doing this for a moment here, feel free. Even just take a death. Just don't go on the carpet until you're comfortable to, because otherwise the wave will take you. And then don't be holding upright here until you've actually got to the right point. Treat the corners with respect, ignore the hoovers. Try and do your skip. That's pretty good. Be in the middle. Switch to up, switch to left, switch to down as quick as you can. Sometimes, very rarely, you'll get a very good hammer pattern and you can get through with just one bonk, like that. But don't presume that's going to happen, just treat that as a kind of bonus. Up here. This is where you need to use a little bit of back button just to kind of control your momentum up the ramps. Upright, hold upright into the pipe. Warp, right, up left, down left. Come over. Modified silly skip onto the wall and over. The one thing, that bird there, be careful not to run into him, just give it a little bit of margin if you need to. Swearing wall, right, down, left, down. Never done that before. Come along, move along to here. And then finally we'll just show ultimate again. Just completing this game is an achievement. We legitimately think only 2 people have ever completed it. So even just a 350 or 340 is absolutely great. Just enjoy playing it. The one thing I'll say, be careful if you're going to play this game, play it in very short bursts of maybe a few days and then take a break. Because it will massively pollute your inputs for other games like NES version or, well, any version really. And then come up here. Come onto the sand, wait a moment, come across, round, down, and that's the game. And the timing ends as soon as the gold platform turns blue. And you will be lucky if you can finish with a few seconds left. I mean, if it absolutely comes to it, go around in the mosh pit and try and kill 2 younglings and get back out, but mainly just focus on the little hacky things and find out what movements work for you, timing, stuff like that. And then when you finish this game, pour yourself as big a drink of alcohol as you'd like, but drink responsibly. And if you think this is bad, then you should pick up the Game Boy Advance version, which is basically the worst version of all time, because there's only 3 levels and the controller's even worse. Thanks for watching. Kapla.